Hello, I am Kristin, and welcome to my channel on healing my body and mind through nutrition and exercise. Welcome back if you've been following along. Welcome if you are new. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, follow along, comments. I love to hear where you are on your journey. So today I wanted to dive into something that's a little more personal to me. So if you've been following along, you know that I have gut issues, and specifically I have what is called microscopic colitis. Now, what is microscopic colitis? So I'm going to go through this with you right now. So microscopic colitis is a type of inflammation in the colon that cannot be seen by the naked eye. So even when I got my colonoscopy and my endoscopy, they told me from just looking at it, everything looks good. It wasn't until they can look really into the microscope that they found the issue. So it causes symptoms like chronic diarrhea and abdominal pain. And unlike other types of colitis, it's diagnosed through a biopsy during a colonoscopy where the inflammation can be seen under the microscope. The exact cause is unclear, but it says that it can be linked to certain medication, infections, or an autoimmune reaction. Now, when I went to the gastro many moons ago, I was in my young 20s and past my mid 20s. And all of a sudden, I started to just have diarrhea. TMI, we're diving in, but this is what microscopic colitis is all about, okay? And I was getting abdominal pains, really bad sweats. I mean, it was constant. And I never suffered from having constipation or diarrhea. So I knew that after a few days of consistently having diarrhea and being in the middle of work and having to run upstairs and go to the bathroom, that this wasn't normal. And so I told my doctor about it. They said that I had to go see a gastro, and that's what I did. We set up an appointment to do a colonoscopy and an endoscopy and find out what was going on. So after I got that done, I found out that I had microscopic colitis. I had no idea what this was. I don't have anybody in the family that has any of these issues. And so this was all very new to me. Mind you, I was in my little bit after my mid 20s, I want to say. I really have to look. I don't even remember how old I was. I'm really bad at determining how old I was when things happened. But I sat down with the doctor and he told me, don't start Googling things because you're going to get scared or you're going to drive yourself crazy. And there's just all this information out there on Google. So if you need any medical guidance, information, come to me and I will print it from the MD website. So I thought that was really nice. He was a very nice doctor. But as we started to talk more, he told me that the only way that we can fix this issue, because we don't know, right? What did it say? It said that the exact cause is unclear. So there's no real cure, right? And so he said, we can put you on a medication that has a steroid. Right there, I saw red flags. Even back then, in my mid 20s, when I wasn't super healthy, when I didn't know all the things that I know now, I knew that I didn't want to put a steroid in my body or take medication that I really possibly didn't need. And I didn't want to start taking a medication with steroid in my mid 20s because I even told him straight out. I said, if I start taking that now, when I'm in my 40s, which I am now, that medication probably won't work. So what else can I do? And he said, well, there's really nothing else you can do. I said, well, is there like a way of eating, a nutrition? Like, I don't know. You're the doctor, right? The answer was no. Don't eat fried food. You can probably tell what are the food that irritate you. Just try not to eat those. That was the extent of my nutrition. That is what they are taught. They are taught, this is the cause, here's the medication, and send your patient on its way. Live your life on medication and hope that you don't have diarrhea and stomach pain every single day. So I said, well, I noticed that if I take Imodium, it helps. If I have this issue, can I just take Pepto-Bismol, Imodium? He said, yeah. If that works for you for now, go ahead and take it. If it gets worse, we can come back and discuss another medication. So we're going from I can buy this medication at the store and take it when I have a stomach issue, to getting on a stronger medication that has steroids, to who knows what. So I lived like this for so many years. I was able to slowly control it because I did notice that I couldn't have a lot of fried foods. As I got older, I was at one point able to eat spicy foods and jalapenos. And little by little, I started to realize that that was starting to affect me. So I could no longer have jalapenos and I had to limit my spiciness. So for the most part, I really controlled it. But every month around my period, my stomach just does this turning where it doesn't matter what I eat, but I get what I call an episode. And it's that really bad stomach ache, sweatiness, and just watery stool. So fast forward, okay? I started the carnivore diet. And as you know, or if you don't know, I'm going to tell you that when you're starting the carnivore diet, it is common for people to either get constipated or have diarrhea. Now, it's normal because your body is changing and you're releasing all the toxins and all the sugars and all the stuff that you've been eating. And so for me, adding in that extra fat was causing me to have some of that diarrhea. Now, I didn't always have the abdominal pain. Sometimes I would have stomach pain. Sometimes I didn't. Some days were better than others. And then around my period, again, it didn't matter what I ate, I still had that watery stool. Now, with that said, I'm going to let you know that it still happens a little bit around my period, but having gone carnivore now 7 months in, I was telling my husband the other day that I realized that my stool has been pretty normal more than just around my period. And it hasn't been like that in years and years and years and years. And when I first started carnivore, it was not like that. I was still kind of fluctuating up and down with the good and the bad of the stool. And yeah, I just noticed, I said, oh my God, I haven't had any issues and I've been going to the bathroom normal. That's not normal for me, but it is normal. And then my stomach, my gut, my microscopic colitis finally getting normal. So lots and lots of questions. I still have questions because as much research as I've done and looked to find out of people with microscopic colitis on the carnivore diet, it's very, very hard to find. I do have seen people who have Crohn's, people who have especially more about IBS, but not about microscopic colitis. So I am very curious to see what others out there are feeling. What kind of stomach gut issues do you have? Have you seen that that carnivore has helped along that journey? And how long have you been on that journey? So for me, like I said, I'm going on 7 months. So it's taken me almost 7 months to finally get normal stool without having those episodes. I had one small episode around my period, but one compared to 3 or 4 or 5 is a huge improvement. So on top of that, I wanted to read to you what the carnivore diet can do for microscopic colitis. I did find this information, and you can let me know if it's true. You can debunk me. I love to share and discuss and see what people know and what they don't know. So according to this, it will reduce inflammation, right? That we already know. Carnivore reduces inflammation, and inflammation a lot of times is in the gut, which was probably triggering my microscopic colitis. So reducing the inflammation, the diet focuses on animal-based foods, which might help decrease inflammation and symptoms for some individuals. Now, this simplified diet is an elimination plant. We're eliminating plant-based foods, and that can remove potential irritants and triggers, such as certain fibers, right? I talked to you about before how I did this gut protocol, and I had to eat all of these veggies, and it was called gut protocol, and it was doing nothing to my gut. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. Excuse me. I got excited. It was doing nothing to my gut, but harming it more. I had flare ups with my microscopic colitis throughout the 30 days of the gut protocol. I remember specifically telling my mom, how is this making my stomach worse? Like, I'm eating healthy, right? I'm eating the way that they tell you to eat. Less protein, more veggies. I was reading the other day about the gut protocol because I couldn't quite remember everything. It's been a while since I did it. And it specifically says to cut out red meat and only eat it once a week. How is this a gut protocol? And don't get me wrong, I'm so conflicted because some of the nutrition that they have for people works for them on weight loss, but learning more about nutrition and about food and what we put into our bodies, it's so hard for me to tell people to eat this way when I know that the way they should eat is more of a carnivore animal based lifestyle. So, with that said, obviously it did not work for me. And part of the gut healing is a meat based diet because it promotes the gut healing by reducing exposure to substances that can cause inflammation and contribute to the irritation, which is what it was doing to me all of these years. I mean, I even did keto. So if you think about it, keto, yes, I took out like the white starches, the pastas, the rice, the potatoes, the breads, right? But I was still eating a lot of legumes and a lot of veggies on the side of my protein. And that was already so long ago. So I kind of went keto around the time that I found out that I was having these issues, and found out that I had microscopic colitis. So that also did not work for me. Why? Because I was eating the vegetables. So it's funny when I see and I hear and I read about how vegetables are good for you, and I see these dietitians and nutritionists debunking people who are saying